Hello and welcome to Settings. This was going to be a Nomads game. I wanted to look at one of these for a while. How does Settings looks like with Nomads? And even though it is a Nomads game, the only person who got Nomads was Zoc. So big props to him. He's going to be taking on who is it? Blue is Blackwater. Oh, extremely good player. UEF. Of course, UEF did get a slight nerf. Well, maybe a big nerf with the shields recently. So the top side is the only one actually has Nomads. The bottom side's all classic. Fatty Cell, extremely good at air. Craze, this is great. Craze seems to be a full-on Settings player. We can claim him on our side now. People can't argue. I mean, he plays more on Settings. Maybe when it's Crazed Chariot, he plays in the latter when it's Crazed. And lately, he's been absolutely awesome. I mean, he's definitely one of the top Settings players out there. Completely understands it, does really good stuff with Seraphim, great drops, things like that. In the middle, we got Benzel and Le Pen. Cybern's always a ballsy move in the middle. But if you can survive, it's a good faction to have. But Seraphim have so many good weapons against Cybern that is just dangerous. See how that turns out. And what else? Who else we got here? VIP, perhaps. Well, at some point he was definitely the best air player. I mean, he really showed that. Now he's Aeon, and he's taking on Fatty Cell. And I'm not really sure. I still put my money on VIP. And this is what we're seeing. Crazed, trying to break the usual Settings rules. I mean, this is not something too uncommon, but two bombers. Bahal, I guess one player I haven't introduced. We're seeing Siren versus Seraphim in the top ocean. Nothing too crazy. It looks like he was trying to take out a Mass Extractor that was being upgraded to Tech 2. That's a bit mean. Not in time. Now it's Tech 2. It's going to be much more difficult to kill. That could have cost so much though. That's a very interesting thing that Craze just did. So it looks like Zoc is going to take his island unopposed. So is Crazed. The two players in the middle, for the most part, got all the mass. Here, minute 5. Le Pen has reclaimed 5,300. Benzel, 66. So 1,300 extra. In terms of the builds, we do see 2 Tech 2s and a couple Tech 1s halfway done with their upgrades. Big power spam from Le Pen. Looks like some modification of something like the T-Nog build. Still hasn't got all of his Mass Extractors. Very similar for Benzel, but he's not upgrading as much. Looks like he's going to get a power storage really quick, so he's most likely going to be wanting to use his ACU. He's completely taken over the middle. Not surprising. A bomber from Zoc. Looks like took out a couple NGs. But really what we want to see right here, this is what we want to see, the Nomads Navy. See, the radar looks... So at some point it almost seems like these units are made out of wood for Nomads, especially when they get big like the ships. Nothing special on the island. Looks like some Arty. Let's see how the Arty drops work with Nomads. The Arty seems to really have long projectiles. I'm not sure about the reload. They don't seem to cause too much damage. I mean, I still would prefer Seraphim. Tech 2 transports from VIP. Looks like he picked up a couple of units from Benzel. That's good teamwork. And he's gonna drop. He will attempt to fly directly over Blackwater's base and drop right over here, which can cost Fatty Cell a couple Mass Extractors. He's gonna be flying through a crowd of Tech 1. Of course, Tech 2 can outrun him, but you don't want to be in the bad spot. Oh, he's just going to keep running. Wow. I have to slow this down. And successful drop. Looks like both tanks and Arty got a very quick point defense. And this transport is going to try to get out. That's a very ballsy move. I mean, this is something that people should see and realize. Take the transports at this stage on Settings before ISF comes out. Unless the players are making Swift Twins, they're very good. Doesn't look like it actually cost too much damage. Good defense from Fatty Cell. Meanwhile, Crazed using the floating arty to its maximum. He's got those Tech 2 transports as well. Of course, you can get all over this place. You can just shoot over the edge. This is a really big, painful thing that happens to you when you're facing Seraphim. And if you're playing Seraphim and you're not doing this to people, you're really neglecting a huge weapon. Another Tech 2 transport coming in. Meanwhile, both players making walls. They don't want to fight. They just want to tech. That's a common theme on sets. See what this floating arty can do. They're definitely in position. A couple of bombs here that would be really nice from Paul, but Paul just getting dominated at Tech 1. I mean, he's fighting back, but he is not denying these drops. And these drops, they just keep on coming. You can see what's going on here. It's a ferry system. Multiple Tech 2 transports and a whole bunch of factories producing arty. And this is the result. Denial and error. That's what that is. That's the best way to do anything. More transports. I mean, this is not too much air, mostly denial of Navy. And this is not something you see. I mean, this is great. Has nothing to do with Nomads. I said this is going to be Nomads. Has nothing to do with Nomads. This is Craze doing drops. Tech 2 transports flying through waves of Tech 1. And this is where, when you have Aeon and you're not paying attention, a couple Swift Twins would completely deny everything. But as a result here, Paul getting completely dropped on at least 5 times. He has a whole bunch of Tech 1 bombers as a result. Here, minute 12. Now looking at the Navy. Tech 1 and Tech 1 looks like a bunch of subs. Buccaneer class. I knew there were pirates. So Nomads are going to be pirates from now on. They're made out of wood and they're from the 17th century. And their home base is Britain. Right, Crazed. See how far he gets. Now we got ASF, so these transports are much more vulnerable. That was a quick drop, nice, but quite a few of those died. Looks like they fell. Not really sure. They fell into the side of the cliff and died. And a massive Tech 1 bomber situation going. Whole bunch of Tech 1 submarines from Zoc, Blackwater. Definitely knows how to play defensive, and not one player I'd really want to face too many times on Navy. Very good, especially with the EEF. Looks like he's going to get resource allocation. Here come the Tech 1 bombers. What exactly are they attacking? The factory? If they can deny the engineers in the factory, very nice. And also ASF from VIP helping out, but so much Tech 1 air from Crazed. And also Flak. Looks like the engineers are going to die. The unbuilt Flak was the target. A bit unfortunate. Also Tech 2 bombers, it seems, from Le Pen. Le Pen is making multiple walls. He's reclaiming his Tech 1 factories. He's going to get rid of the spam. Massive Tech 2 bomber spam from Le Pen. Meanwhile, it appears we do see some Tech 2 Navy from Crazed. So as Bahal was being denied entrance into the sea, Crazed has been making a Tech 2 Navy, and that's multiple destroyers moving in his direction. He's got to do something about it. That's going to be very difficult to deny. Of course, he might have the benefit of having air control via VIP. And actually trying to bomb these with Tech 1 bombers. Looks like a bit of dodging action there. And I think these are going to have to die. And then, of course, torpedo bombers. It's a very difficult judgment call. We're seeing torpedo bombers also from Le Pen. There's really nothing for them to kill in top ocean. The bottom ocean, however, Zoc does have a whole bunch of... Okay, and so more drops coming in. And they flew into a cloud of fatty cells, ASF. The worst fate for any drops. It's a little late, minute 16, ASF already in the field. If you get found out and there's radar, it's good for mid players to put radars. Eventually ASF, Tech 3 radar, of course, will cover the entire area. Another drop coming in from Benzel. See if that's successful. So definitely a very high quality settings going on here. I mean, Le Pen, Blackwater, Fatty Cell, Crazed. Those are excellent teams. And this is the fate of a Navy where it doesn't have a good air player. There's some cruisers though, but Tech 3 torpedoes creating all kinds of problems, taking out cruisers in one pass. Eventually they should die. Seraphim cruiser, of course, massive damage. But this is going to be enough to allow Bhal the time to get a Navy going. I'd love to see... well, actually, no, this would be a bad place to have an air fight. So when you're choosing where to have your air fight, which is actually the most important thing about air, is choosing when to fight and where to fight. One of the most important things to remember is that anytime you fight anybody in any kind of battle, you're going to leave the wrecks. You want to have a fight in a position where you can recover those wrecks. So fighting over an enemy territory, even when you win, you haven't really won in the big scheme. Always got to keep that in mind. So it looks like Benzo going Tech 3 here. Here minute 18, somewhere past minute 20. If anybody rushes experimental, that's definitely a possibility. Whole bunch of Tech 3 mass extractors. So it looks like Benzo just straight up ecoing in this game. Le Pen did a little more Tech 2 bombers. They didn't really make a huge impact, but they were there. And now Blackwater is going to begin to move out with his Navy, perhaps give a challenge to the Buccaneers, the Pirates. And here is a heavy destroyer. This is the special Tech 3 unit. I mean, this is one, well, I guess one cool thing, besides the fact that it's made out of rotting wood, is that they have a big torpedo launcher on the bottom. Guess what is it called? Submerged railgun. That's the euphemism for that thing they got submerged underwater under the Tech 3 ship. Also the Tech 3 sonar. I'm not really sure what that does. Sonar boost. Wonder why would a Tech 3 sonar need a sonar boost? It already covers the whole map. I guess there's other maps besides Seddons, but never seen them. But heavy destroyers, the price on this is the same as a battle cruiser. They do have slightly more health than a battle cruiser. I have no idea what their damage is. Looks like they have that big schlong underneath, so they can be good against submarines. They have a little bit of anti-air. They can't kill a scout in one pass, so it's not that good. Also, Tech 3 submarines, they have cruise missiles. Long-range cruise missiles, which we're seeing right now with those red trails. And cruisers are actually very good weapon against shields. They will deny shields at long range. Of course, these are submersibles. They also have torpedoes. And this is a new weapon to this game, underwater cruise missiles. Of course, there's nuclear missiles that were from underwater in the past. And Mercies, what the heck are Mercies doing here? I must be missing this game. So here, minute 21, we're seeing not too much of anything. We did see a crazy fight early on between Crazed and Bhal trying to survive, but I think VIP's massive air was a big advantage. And here, Fatty Cell is saying, if you want to fight, go ahead. I'll fight over my allies' cruisers. VIP is not going to do that, but he will stay in the middle. Meanwhile, Zoc is pushing with his destroyers. No mobile shields or shields on water, but there is, if you would choose to go Tech 3 land with Nomads, the Tech 3 tank can go on water and is quite good. Meanwhile, these destroyers continue to push. We do see a battle cruiser. So battle cruiser versus destroyers. See the health on this thing's 25,000. This is 28,000. I think the direct damage from battle cruiser is higher. Not really sure about the range. So we'll see EF versus Nomads. Of course, Blackwater and Zoc actually. Zoc has shown he can beat the best in Navy. So even though he doesn't play Seddons, he's extremely good. Not surprisingly, you can see a big Tech 3 spam. There appears to be other pirate ships here. What is that? A destroyer, typical destroyer, and I believe this one's close to the Cybern destroyer. It has radar, sonar, and area bombardment. Maybe we'll see those in action. Of course, also the cruiser. Not really sure too much about that either. I think one suggestion I'd like to make for future patches is to put pirate flags on all of these ships for nomads. Meanwhile, we're seeing the 3 destroyers versus 2. Oh wow, chicken. So I was anticipating there might be a chicken, all those Tech 3 mass extractors, and we're going to see it. Le Pen does have a spider of his own, and actually he is getting quite a bit of help from these ships. Of course, they are busy fighting another fight here. And I think this monkey is going to take care of it if it doesn't miss. It is missing. He needs to stop doing that. And Le Pen is going to get a nice chunk of mass for himself. Didn't lose too much. He might lose a little bit after the fact. But it did, I think, give a slight advantage to Zoc in this fight. These battlecruisers were not shooting the destroyers. And another battlecruiser coming in. And one interesting thing, we've talked a lot about naval wrecks. The Tech 3 heavy destroyer does not leave a wreck, it self-destructs. So that's a nice feature. You can be a little more aggressive with them without the fear that you're going to be feeding the enemy. We're seeing Tech 3 submarines plus cruisers and a whole bunch of destroyers. From Crazed, he's walking toward Bahal. Bahal with a Cybran destroyer. Oh, sorry, battleship. It's a very good weapon. And the air fight still hasn't happened. Let's see who cracks first and where they fight. Who's got the better nerves. And that's really all experience. And at the end, it is, of course, micro. So it's eco, strategic, what your allies are doing, what they're helping you. And then at the end, it's micro. Multiple things that are necessary for a good air player. Yeah, let's see what happens. Battlecruiser. Oh, and here comes the air fight. Looks, I'm not even sure how that happened. But Benzel is gonna be happy. Benzel is getting a Merry Christmas. See all this rain. SF falling out of the sky. Not clear who's going to win, but definitely Benzel is the winner. Meanwhile, Zoc's making huge progress, leading with the destroyers. Still battleships. Some battleships made it on the field. Of course, battleships, 51,000 health. They do take slightly more mass. I believe it's 10,000 versus 7,000 for the other battlecruisers and heavy destroyers. They're not as good for direct fire, but they do have a range. So actually, it appears to be a victory for Zoc and this Navy. Meanwhile, this fight is nearly done and appears that on paper VIP has won, and in reality his team has really won. You see all these different engineers are just happy, so that's a good thing. Alright, so we're seeing some mobile shields now together with Crazed Navy. These missiles are actually causing quite a bit of damage. That's why you gotta move. So those submersible subs are actually quite good. This battleship's taking a huge beating. Now it's got some shields to help out. So excellent stuff from Zoc. He's getting bombarded by Le Pen now. Another chicken coming into the middle. Let's see how far along we are. We're still good. Oh, this destroyer is nearly dead. 500 health. Moving back. So what we can say from this fight, Nomads and Navy definitely not underpowered. I'm not really sure if they're overpowered yet. Need a little more testing for that. Some strats, what else? Some pausing there. Meanwhile, this is going to be a very even battle. We do see these Tech 3 subs. They're really something very difficult to counter if you're Cybran, unless you want to go with Harms. And Bahal does want to go with Harms. This torpedo launcher is nice range. That actually outranges the Tech 3 submarine. You see chickens there in the distance. once it's built, it goes underwater, so it can't be hit by direct bombardment, unless of course you hit it ground fire with some battleships. That works. Blackwater not ready to die. He's got some battleships sinking, but he's still got a couple of battleships that are in position. He's also got an Atlantis, and he's got a good build capacity. It'd be nice to see. Not too much anti-air here. A couple Tech 2, Tech 1 bombers right there would really slow him down. VIP continues to dominate air. And talks about dropping experimentals. So this is the UFO. So that's again the red fire. It's got a little bit of white and a little bit of red. See what they said to put in. They're talking about putting experimentals on it. I'm not sure if that's possible. Multiple power generators, Tech 3 power generators. Got strats, and this is just a frenzy, a feeding frenzy for the engineers. And while Blackwater continues to survive, and now another chicken has been killed. The spider survives. Another chicken still full health. See how far it gets. So Benzel continues to put non-stop pressure. This used to be the ASFs from Fatty Cell and VIP. They're being turned into chickens and thrown at Le Pen. And we're back after a short break. See what's going on in this battle. Strat bombers coming in. But I really think Blackwater is the player most likely to suffer something in this one. Although now we got strat bombers from Benzel. See what he hits. That's the Tech 3 power generator. Of course, it's a nice splash there. Strats won't get to fly too much longer. And a spider versus chicken. The spider's probably going to die, but there should be enough defense here to kill a chicken. Some hoplites. Meanwhile, this force from Bahal just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Also, aircraft and a nuke. VIP sending a nuke. VIP loves that nuke right up there. I think it's in his build order. Let's see what happens. Anti-nukes. Not many anti-nukes anywhere. This could really cripple somebody. This anti-nuke was almost complete. But let's see what happens. Meanwhile, we're seeing the battleships slowly taking over both on top and bottom. I think now these destroyers are a bit outranged. Zoc is trying to make up for it with those Tech 3 subs. It's massive amounts of missiles, but shields, of course, with numbers. Meanwhile, destroyers for Bahal are putting a lot of pressure now on Craze. He's got to start doing something. He does, of course, have these nice Seraphim shields. A bunch of destroyers. It takes a lot of Tech 3 subs to kill a battleship. And there goes another. So now this game, well, okay, besides the fact that Fatty Cell just died, the navies are extremely even. I actually think Bahal was really making a case for winning his navy. Meanwhile, Zoc, after that early success, I don't think he was actually going to break through that UEF. But now, of course, Le Pen is going to get the bag base. It is now 3 versus 4. And let's see. Le Pen, of course, a really good player, so let's see what he does. Meanwhile, you can see these submarines are also pretty good at torpedoes, actually quite long range, taking on Atlantis. And they might actually win. Here they just took out Atlantis, so these are very good. This cruiser, of course, is in the style of... it's got missiles of its own, doesn't it? No, it's just anti-air and EMP weapon. That's going to be very curious what the heck the EMP weapon does on water. Meanwhile, the chickens just keep on rolling through. Just a single spider probably needs to evacuate. There's a megalith, almost constructed an anti-nuke. Very important anti-nuke. Expecting more anti-nukes to go up soon. That was a very big splash, and so much Tech 3 power just right there. It's going to make things very difficult. You can see how Craze is going to arrange his defense. More Atlanti. And strategic nuclear sub from Blackwater. So it looks like Blackwater. Well, that's kind of funny. Bahal is gone from the game. Hope that doesn't desync the game. Hopefully all the units are given over. Expecting his ACU to explode and all his units to be given over to VIP and other players. So it is becoming a 3v3. It must be a connection issue or something else. And if there's a desync, that's gonna suck. Whole bunch of Tech 2 torpedo bombers from Seraphim trying to even out this battle. And actually Sealed is now it's all gonna be given over to Benzel. So Benzel is gonna have the beach, the middle, and this navy. I think that was very timely actually. Bahal wasn't marching toward Craze, and even though Craze was still in very good shape, I think Craze really got lucky there. Also, Strat bombers coming in now from VIP. VIP needs to clear out those torpedo bombers. They're causing all kinds of damage. Meanwhile, it looks like the chickens are going to be forced back by Blackwater's navy as Zoc continues to put pressure. People keep calling GGs. But why? Oh, because VIP has total air control. And is Le Pen going to be quick enough? And Crazed with an absolutely, that was plan B. Okay, that was a very good dodge. He didn't even get hurt by a single bomb. More strats coming in though from Benzel. Those won't make it. So that was very timely. That you have to time it perfectly. You gotta trick the bombers. You gotta one direction and change direction. Best thing is toward away from the bombers, then toward the bombers. Side to side, you still get hit by a splash. Of course, Aeon bombers have the smallest splash, so it's easiest to do it against them. Against Cybern, it's the hardest. And we're seeing a massive air fight now. VIP is going to try to get air control. This is the plan B. And he is going to feed Crazed a whole bunch of mass. Torpedo bombers still going at it from Benzel. This used to be a cloud of torpedo bombers from Craze. Now it's a bunch of torpedo bombers from Benzel. That kind of confused me there. VIP continues to dominate. Perhaps still the best air player out there. I don't think he plays too much. His computer isn't the slowest, but definitely faster than Styre. But Styre's got a new CPU, just needs to put it all together. I guess that's this current story. Chickens have changed trajectory. They're going to go toward Craze. This could be a mistake if Craze can hold out those Tech 3 subs. If there were any left, looks like they're all gone because of the torpedo bombers. You could probably kill a couple of those chickens. So, topside very much in control because of all the air from VIP. And now more strats coming out. So Blackwater pushing back against that's a mess. That looks just like the Cybern. So I guess the aircraft carrier for Nomads is a copy of the Cybern. They just kind of stole it. It's not a big deal. Aircraft carriers seldom used and very good for repairing aircraft. That's really all the only thing they can do. Strat bombers going up against Crazed. Crazed under a nice Tech 3 shield. More ASF here from VIP. Wow, VIP really made that in a tight bunch. Crazed not ready to die. He's got 5 battleships. Looks like he's actually won this battle. So Crazed is not going away, which means this is still an extremely even game because the longer you fly over somebody with air control, the more mass you give them. And we're seeing massive amounts of Tech 3 anti-air. Still very dangerous, but I don't see too many Strat bombers from the top side. I mean, okay, well, as I'm saying that, Craze is about to die. I really didn't think that those Strats could have done that much damage. He was at 800 health, but he seems to have survived. He's getting more Tech 2 shields. He's going to get yet another. And I think he is going to survive. More strats still on the way. See, once this shields get hit, this shield doesn't take damage, and he's got 3. I think that shield, both of those shields took damage from that last bomb. So Crazed very much safe still, but he does have chickens walking into his base. Here come the Tech 3 subs, which thought would be a little bit more on the case, but of course this chicken is not going to kill all the build capacity. It's going to make things very difficult. More battleships from Benzel. Meanwhile, this battle right here is nowhere close to what the heck is this? Experimental missile tank. Oh, this is one of the experimentals for I didn't think it could go on water, but I guess it can. Another thing we haven't seen yet is that UFO. What the heck happened to the UFO? I really apologize if I missed something very important. And here comes Tech 3 torpedo bombers against Blackwater. Let's see, that's a whole bunch of torpedoes. They're going to fly right underneath the Atlantis and go for their target. Blackwater making his march toward, and he didn't make it. So Blackwater sniped by VIP. And that's going to really basically end it. 2 versus 3. Unit limit becomes huge, and meanwhile this chicken 131 kills. Running in amongst the Mercies. This is nice. This chicken isn't done yet. Should be dead eventually, and yet another nuke now from VIP. And now of course Craze is going to have to fight in 2 battles if there's a chance. I think at this point they got to give this base to Le Pen, maybe give middle to Crazed. It's just way too much to ask for. But in either case, I think this Navy from Zoc, given a chance, which they've just been given, isn't going to pass it up, just run everything over. And a nuke, where is this nuke flying to? Still haven't seen an anti-nuke from Crazed. Well, they just finished the launcher, but no nukes in it. No anti-nukes. And that's going to be a splash. And where did he shoot it? He was anticipating Crazed running in that direction, but Crazed just standing still. Crazed is out, Le Pen's all alone. He's about to lose at least one of the navies. The other one's probably going to lose because he's going to have way too many units. And he is got no shields, so another strat bombing run and he's done. We're seeing restorers from Le Pen. And you can see this is where unit limit really kills you. All these units were not given. Would actually be very interesting if... Oh wow, okay, so here comes the satellite. Who does the... some support commanders. Let me actually see. He's got 3 support commanders, a whole bunch of bricks, and a whole bunch of Othams. I think this is a really good addition to the game. It's an obvious idea. That's what makes great ideas so good. If it gets shut down, though, it'll be tragic. This will be a good way to end this game. Hasn't been too much nomads except Zoc Force with his navy, showing off that it's not too weak. And looks like this can be a drop on Le Pen. Le Pen trying to get teleport. Looks like these units were successfully dropped off, and Le Pen is going to die. I think this is a great way to end the game in style. And this UFO is nearly dead. Is he going to die? Get some nice anti-air to it. Topside win. I think it was mostly VIP, but great Navy play from... Actually, it was great play from the whole topside. So hopefully people enjoyed this one.